Imagine waking up one morning and realizing you literally don't care what anyone thinks about you anymore. Not in a rude way, just free. No more checking if your shirt looks dumb. No more replaying that awkward thing you said at the party. No more shrinking yourself so people feel comfortable. That actually happened to one guy I know. And the crazy part? His life got 10 times better the moment he stopped caring. Today I'm going to tell you his whole story, how he got there, what changed, and the exact steps he took so maybe you can steal a couple of them and feel that freedom too. His name is Alex. When I first met him 3 years ago, he was the nicest guy you'd ever meet, but quiet. Like, painfully quiet. He'd walk into a room, and you could almost see him scanning everyone's faces to figure out what version of himself he was supposed to be today. If someone laughed near him, he'd think they were laughing at him. If someone didn't text back fast, he'd assume they hated him. He told me once that he spent 40 minutes picking a selfie to post because he was scared people would think his nose looked weird from that angle. 40 minutes. On one picture. Alex wasn't always like that. When he was a kid, he didn't care. He'd wear mismatched socks, sing out loud in the supermarket, tell strangers random facts about dinosaurs. Normal kid stuff. Then middle school hit. The comments started. Why are you so loud? That shirt is ugly. You're trying too hard. Little knives that cut deeper than anyone realized. By the time he was 16, he had built this armor made of people-pleasing. Be funny but not too loud. Be smart but never show off. Look good but don't seem like you're trying. He got really good at reading rooms, but he lost himself in the process. Fast forward to 27 years old. Alex had a decent job, some friends, a girlfriend, but inside he was exhausted. Every day felt like acting. He told me he would lie in bed at night running through every conversation from the day, beating himself up over tiny things. I laughed too hard at Jake's joke. He probably thinks I'm fake. I said I was tired. Now Sarah thinks I don't like hanging out. It was endless. The breaking point came on a random Tuesday. He was at work, presenting an idea in a meeting. It was a good idea, everyone knew it, but one coworker rolled his eyes a little. That was it. Just an eye roll. Alex finished the presentation, sat down, and felt his chest get tight. Not dramatic tight, just done. He went to the bathroom, looked in the mirror, and something snapped. Not angry snapped. Quiet snapped. He said out loud, "I'm 30 years old and still letting some guy's eye roll ruin my day. This is stupid." And that was the first brick that fell. He didn't change overnight. Nobody does. But that eye roll moment became the start. He told me later it felt like he had been holding his breath for 15 years and finally exhaled. The first thing he did was brutally simple. He started noticing every time he was about to change himself for someone else. Like, he'd catch the exact second the thought popped up. Don't say that, they'll think you're weird. And instead of obeying the thought like he always did, he'd pause and ask, would I do this if no one was watching? Most of the time the answer was no. So he started doing the thing anyway. Example, he loved this bright yellow hoodie. Loved it. But he never wore it because he thought people would say it's too much. After the eye roll day, he put it on and went to get coffee. Heart racing the whole time. The barista said, "Cool hoodie, man." That was it. Nothing bad happened. Nobody pointed and laughed. He wore it 3 days in a row just to prove to himself the world didn't end. Another time he was at dinner with friends and someone brought up politics. Normally Alex would stay quiet or just nod along with whatever the loudest person said. This time he actually shared his real opinion. It wasn't even that different from everyone else's, but it wasn't perfectly safe either. The table got quiet for half a second. Then someone said, "Huh, I never thought about it that way." And the conversation moved on. Again, no one kicked him out of the friend group. No one unfollowed him. The fear was way bigger in his head than in real life. He kept doing these little experiments. Posting the selfie without 17 filters. Telling his boss he didn't want to stay late instead of always saying yes. Dancing at a wedding like an idiot because the song was good. Every time he expected something terrible, and almost every time nothing happened. Or better than nothing. People liked him more when he was real. About 4 months in, he hit this weird phase where he almost felt guilty for not caring. Like his brain was so used to worrying that when the worry went away, there was empty space, and it tried to fill it with fake worry. He'd catch himself thinking, wait, do I care too little now? Am I becoming a jerk? So he made a rule. It's okay to not care what people think about me, but I still care about people. Big difference. Not caring about opinions doesn't mean not caring about feelings. He could wear the yellow hoodie and still ask his friend if they're okay. He could speak up in a meeting and still listen to feedback. Freedom doesn't have to mean selfish. The real test came about a year later. His girlfriend at the time broke up with him, said he had changed, that he wasn't as attentive anymore. That one hurt because part of him wanted to crawl back into the old people-pleasing version of himself to win her back. But he didn't. He sat with the pain, let himself be sad, and realized something huge. The breakup wasn't because he stopped caring what she thought. It was because he finally started caring what he thought. Turns out she liked the version of him that always put her first and never rocked the boat. And that version wasn't coming back. After the breakup, he moved into a tiny studio apartment, got a dog, and started saying yes to things that scared him. He signed up for stand-up comedy, even though the idea made him want to throw up. First time on stage, he bombed so hard the silence was louder than the laughs. He walked off stage laughing at himself. 6 months later, he did it again and actually got real laughs. Doesn't matter if he ever gets good at it. The point is he stopped letting fear make his choices. Now when I talk to Alex, he's almost a different person. Not louder, not cocky, just calm. He still gets nervous sometimes, but it doesn't control him. He told me the best way he can describe it is like this. Before, his brain was a browser with 100 tabs open, all of them someone else's opinion. Now it's like 5 tabs and they're all his. So how did he actually do it? He gave me the exact things that worked for him. I'm going to list them because they're too good not to share. He started catching the thought the second it happened. Every time he felt that urge to shrink or perform, he'd say in his head, "There it is again." Just noticing it took away half its power. He ran tiny experiments every week. One week it was wearing something he liked, but was scared to wear. Next week it was saying no to something small. The wins added up. He stopped asking, "Do they like me?" and started asking, "Do I like me in this moment?" Huge shift. He unfollowed a ton of accounts that made him feel like crap about himself. Not in a dramatic way, just quietly cleaned his feed so it stopped poking the insecurity button. He told one safe person the truth. "I'm working on caring less what people think." Having someone know made it easier to stick to it. He practiced being a little too much, on purpose sometimes, just to prove the world wouldn't end. Too loud, too excited, too honest. Most people either didn't notice or liked it. The craziest part? Once he stopped caring so much, people started liking him more. Turns out when you're not busy trying to make everyone happy, you have way more energy to actually connect. He makes deeper friends now, dates better people, even makes more money because he's not scared to ask for what he wants anymore. If you're watching this and you feel that tightness in your chest just reading about it, I get it. I've been there. Alex says the feeling of freedom is worth every scary moment. It's not about becoming someone who doesn't care about anything. It's about finally caring about yourself the same amount you've been caring about everyone else. So maybe start small. Wear the thing. Say the thing. Post the picture. Send the text. One tiny moment where you choose yourself over their opinion. That's how it starts. One moment becomes 10, becomes a whole different life. If this hit you even a little bit, do me a favor and smash subscribe because I drop a new story like this every single week. See you in the next one.